So, as the Genshin Impact Closed Beta has come to a close for PC and mobile before its hopeful release sometime between now and October, I'm left with some thoughts and feelings about the game. Before I go too much further, for those sitting here wondering what happened to the PS4 release date, yes. They had to hold another beta test as they did run into some hiccups during the beta, specifically concerning performance issues. This ended up resulting in a slightly delayed release for the PS4 back to fall 2020. I did a dedicated video on the game a month or so ago where I went on to discuss various features in detail. So I'm making a note to avoid rehashing past areas I've covered. This is, instead, going to be a video completely focused on my general thoughts concerning all the hours I spent over my few weeks playing through the closed beta. So first things first, the story. Holy crap, I was entertained by it, and the depth to which they went to tell this multi-layered tale as you search the world of Teyvat for your lesser skilled sibling that got beat up in the intro. It was like my first time reading Harry Potter. I was enchanted. Each new tier of the story brought forth a new character that breathed some form of life into your character's questline and catapulted you further into the wondrous world. My only grievances with the story was that it was locked behind your adventure level, which after I reached level 20, I felt like I was grinding harder than I have in some games in quite some time. I felt like this really set Genshin Impact very far from Breath of the Wild, which the game drew inspiration from. When I was playing Breath of the Wild, I could literally beeline through the quest and jump to the end to fight Ganon if I really felt like it. But with Genshin Impact, oh boy, they are going to make me work for that story. Then when I reached the lush, refreshing period of story locked behind higher tiers, it only lasted maybe 20 minutes or less at times. Though, don't get me wrong, some took their time in telling me the story, and that was perfectly fine by me. This brings me to the questing and leveling. Each day you log in, you'll be faced with 4 daily quests in Genshin Impact that you should attend to in hopes of garnering more XP. Usually they will give you around 200 to 270 XP upon completion, which isn't very much. I was actually surprised that there were dailies in this single player game like this, as features like this are usually more MMO-esque, so to speak. Every day you should be working on the leyline outcrops. They're like little instances of monster waves that will eventually end with you attaining more XP for your character and also your adventure rank XP, which is separate by the way. My characters were like level 42 and I was only adventure rank 30. Which is fine. I'd rather it not be locked behind my adventure rank anyway, because the monsters actually increase in difficulty within the world as your adventure rank goes up. And these monsters don't exactly die easily. Then you go face world bosses that respawn within minutes, sometimes daily, and honestly we'll have to see once the release happens what their respawn is. But you're going to need it for the XP and also the crafting materials needed to ascend your characters to the next level. You can tackle these bosses with 3 other players beside yourself, which is where the multiplayer co-op really shines, and quite frankly, I was all over it. Some of our wonderful viewers were able to hop over to my game once I reached adventure rank 16, a requirement to unlock co-op, and assist me in defeating these world bosses and reap the benefits of murdering them together. You can also do domains, which are dungeons, together as a group. These domains cost Rinsen, though, a currency needed to actually participate, and you only have 90 originally in a day. You can go out and grind a bit to refill, but for the most part you'll have to wait a certain amount of time before it tops back up for you. I felt like this was a little limiting and really doesn't belong in a game that is mostly going to be played solo. Just like how each day has domains of forgery that you can participate in to garner weapon ascension material. So make sure you pre-plan, because I sure as hell didn't. Oh, and I should mention that there are different types of domains. Some are for character XP, some give you ascension materials, others give you artifacts. All these are necessary to gear and level your character so they're ready to face the world you are unlocking as your adventure rank increases. Overall, the questing beyond storyline just felt very grinding and also limiting in my eyes. Was it still addicting? Yes. Did it get a little tiresome? A bit. I'm just thankful they cycled through varying dailies to spice things up. I'm hopeful they spice the bosses up, because once you get familiar with their patterns, it just is kind of rinse and repeat to me. So, what do you actually do in Genshin Impact? Honestly, you sign on, you do your dailies, story if you unlock it, explore to find chests in the world and fight slight mobs that come around with them, kill the bosses, do the Abyss Tower, and do the domains. Otherwise, there's really not much else to do, at least currently. It looks like they'll add in a few things come release, as there's something called Battle Pass that's not unlocked right now. To give you an idea of time required to level, I'd spend 3-hour streams trying to get to the next level of the story. And let me tell you, sometimes I wouldn't make it up to even one adventure level. But at least I got to fight with some of my viewers in the co-op play, which is always fun and helps pass the time spent otherwise repetitiously grinding. We've been speaking of all the grinding that needs to be done, so let's take a moment and talk about the combat, as that's always a hot topic of discussion. For someone that doesn't typically play a lot of action combat, let alone anime RPGs like this, I found the combat to be quite fun and honestly didn't feel like a cross-platform game. Usually most games I play that are also mobile games feel very super mobile game-ish. You all know what I mean. That to me was probably the most pleasantly surprising thing I've come across thus far. I had to actually aim with my archer's aimed skill. Granted, I sucked at it, but it was a nice feature. I could do their base bow and arrow attacks and it would auto-lock onto an enemy, but if you wanted a stronger shot, you're going to need to aim. And unfortunately, my aim is definitely not always true. The melee, though, is insta-lock on and sometimes would lock me onto a torch, and I'd spend a good half of the fight smacking an enemy and then twisting around and showing that torch who's boss. I'm sorry, torches. I didn't mean to be that kind of person towards you, but in the heat of the moment, see what I did there? Sometimes it's difficult differentiating between targets. It happens, okay? Each character has a base attack, a charged attack, an elemental skill on cooldown, and a burst that's charged after a period of time. I enjoyed unlocking different elemental characters and only managed to unlock 6 out of the 7 of them. Dendro, aka Nature Element, was not in this beta playthrough, so not sure what to expect yet. But each character plays off another character's elements. So, say if I have an electric attack and combo it with a cryo attack from another character, then create a super conduit attack that deals a down on the enemy's defenses. It's just nice figuring out what elements work well with another one. Because let me tell you, there were a couple occasions where I used a pyro skill and then switched to a cryo character and accidentally put out my own fire attack. Yeah, just don't do that. But on the other hand, I can create a giant fiery tornado. So that's cool. Overall, I like how you can seamlessly swap between 4 separate characters in solo play and just let loose with a barrage of varying elements that complement each other, and figuring out which characters work best with each other is also fun. It took me a while to unlock most of the elemental characters though, as most are locked behind the gacha system. And guys, we gotta talk about this. So there's a gacha system in the game called Wish. You use primograms that you can farm within the game itself, or wishes that you get through completing the story to redeem for a wish that will either give you a character, weapon, or character bonus skill. There's no other way of attaining most of the characters, and I didn't really win many of them. I have horrible luck with gachas. I'm not sure what the final gacha system will look like or how much it'll cost in real money. I think in all the days I played, I got 1 4-star weapon while all the rest were blah 3 stars. I never got a 5-star. I never got a character bonus skill, and I mainly got pyro and electro skilled characters. I can already tell you that I'm either going to put myself into a slight money hole with this game, or I'm going to get too frustrated at the lack of results. I'm just gonna have to see upon release what their gacha system looks like, but I can tell you right now that not many people are overly thrilled over this choice. Gacha mechanics are a mobile feature, something that really doesn't have a place in PC titles. All in all, the game itself is alive, beautiful, and worth hours of exploration during gameplay. There are a few concerning things like the gacha system and the relatively grindy, repetitious feel between bits of story. And I might add the lack of ability to pet dogs, because my heart couldn't take not being able to pet the dogs. But for the most part, this game is ready, and I'm ready for it. Am I excited? Heck yes. Am I going to be playing it and probably spending money on the gacha system? Yes, and someone needs to help me with my limitations. I love the combat, the elemental compliments each character gives to one another, and most of all, I look forward to being able to actually play with Styx and all of you again. And before you saunter off, I'd like to showcase a little gameplay, so grab some popcorn and kick back and watch. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I don't know if there's anyone else that wants to come in, but if you want to, there is now a spot available. Whoa!
That was a magical experience.
Goto Bear, you've been on top of me and you've been inside of me. Are we best friends now? It's okay, I love streaming again. Like the first time he cooked here in America, he was like, I will make you a dinner. I will make you a dinner of champions, which was just chicken and salad. But apparently that's really hard. And he set the chicken on fire somehow. And I was on the phone with my dad in a completely different room. But I saw like the shadow and the glow of flames on the ceiling, like reflected on the ceiling. I was like, what the F is going on? So I go into the kitchen and Styx is there standing with a spatula just hitting the burner that's on fire over and over again, just staring at it. I just walk calmly over and I'm still talking to my dad. I grab like a glass of water and dump it on it and put it out, and he's just like, oh.
It's rules. They will send someone to meet us to prevent leaks.
And then we're gonna be knocked out, and then we're gonna wake up in a bathtub and we're gonna be missing a kidney.
Oh, they took my freaking kidney.
Spell.
Look at her. She's so cute. She needs a little bit more of a nose, though. Okay, there's the nose. But when you're looking at her head on, she kind of looks like Krillin's daughter. Where is her nose exactly? Look at that beautiful tree that was made by, like, a third grader. You can walk all the way around it, and it's completely flat. I came back to it multiple days. So beautiful. What? My head. You just like literally cut off my head. Honkai Impact is what they're talking about, Mothra.
Why is this community so damn wholesome?
Oh shit, I think I missed your invitation. I'm sorry, I was reading chat. Let me in. I'm sorry.
Okay, then the more important question is, how many of you guys are gonna be there to carry us in Guild Wars 2? Or how many of you guys are gonna create new level 1 characters to play with us?
Wait, take me with you. I got locked out.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true.